we got Star from Cormaid's farm up in Ramsey, and the dogs came out of the barn. First time they'd ever come out of the barn, and they all come towards you. And I saw this little puppy that was friendly but very inquisitive and desperate to play straight away. So it was then a 2-year journey of training from 8 weeks old onwards, straight away running after a favourite toy, after a stranger in the dark, build it up, all play reward. Then she was qualified by 2 years old, and she's just retired just at the end of the year. So she did about 11 and a quarter years, which is quite unusual, really. Quite often it's more, a lot of them only do about 8 years. So it's quite unusual.
Still a long time, isn't it?
It is a long time, yeah.
So knowing or meeting Star at such a young age, can you tell in the qualities of the animal that they're going to be suited to the kind of work?
Yeah, definitely. The breed starts to start off with, it helps. So having a collie, high play drive, right size dog, very inquisitive, very intelligent. But I learned something straight away, because people always choose the first dog that comes running up towards them. And that's the alpha dog, that's the alpha male, that's the one that unless you're a very good experienced handler, that's the one that's going to be testing you the whole time. So that wasn't the one I went for. It was the one that sort of showed a bit of interest, and straight away you could see she was going to be a really good dog, and she has been excellent. No two ways about it.
Well, 11 and a quarter years, you two must have been through quite a few adventures, I suppose.
Yeah, when you have a typical weekend away, we've been to Wales, been to Scotland, England. You're training for the weekend. I'm sleeping in the van with her. You build up quite a strong bond between you and the dog, and it gets to a situation where, apart from the play, the dog's just wanting to please you, and it's that sort of bond that really you will maximise what you get out of your dog. And she would do anything in the end for me to please me, basically. So yeah.
Was then after 11-year retirement then, was that quite emotional?
We had a surprise party in Barbary Coast last Tuesday, and it was tough. We've had 2 call-outs since with search and rescue dogs in the islands, and I haven't been on them, and it's the first time in 12 years that I haven't actually, as such, been on the call-out, although I'm still available as a navigator. So it's tough. But we've got another one on the way.
Do you still get to see her?
She's a family dog, so all the time she's always lived with us, and she will live with us all the time. She is part of the family, so she's actually quite enjoying her retirement in Laxey now. So yeah.
Well, over those years then, obviously you've developed that incredible bond. But what about some of the actual call-outs you've been on? Have there been some sort of most memorable moments, I suppose?
Yeah, I mean, it's only recently that it started going on Facebook, what we do, and, sort of publicising it. Quite a lot of it's obviously, quite confidential at the time, or there are certainly ones that stick out. There's searches extended searches, where you could be looking for 3 or 4 days for one person, that's happened on the islands. Quite an interesting one was the April Jones one, which was the little girl that was murdered in Mahunclith. And I was being assessed at the time in Wales, and I went straight onto the call. And I think what was unusual about that was the amount of media. I mean, it was worldwide media that was in this small town, and having to cope with that as well as doing what you're trained to do was quite tricky. But all of it, right from training, call-outs, the whole lot it's all part of the big package. Everything makes a difference. So.
What about has there ever been a time where she's surprised you with what she's been able to do? Something a little bit that you just don't expect?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, when we do demos for schools and cadets and things, it's always difficult to show what the dog's capabilities are. The furthest I've seen a strike, and a strike is when she picks up the human scent and then runs in, was on Benny Pot, and it was about 1 kilometre away. She actually picked up someone, which is quite incredible. I think as she got older, she slowed down, but she started to use her head more. So I was in the end not having to say, right, go up to that bank, she naturally went up there because she knew that's where the scent would collect. And actually seeing your dog developing its sort of understanding of where to search was quite incredible to watch. See her working it out.
Well, just finally then, I suppose, to sum up an 11-year career with Star, how do you feel?
I've got to say it's quite emotional. Missing it straight away. I've taken on a new challenge, which is a new dog, new type of searching altogether. That's a new challenge. But yeah, she was my first search dog. She's been an incredible dog. I've met incredible people. There's lots of us that support, just the one dog handler. And it's certainly, it's a strange time still. I'll be honest. Yeah.
If nothing inspires people to get involved, I think a story like this should. When you see such an incredible bond between an animal and a human, would you advocate this as a real good news story?
Definitely. I think we've had quite a lot of successes in the last 3 years. I could have retired Star a year ago. And she actually found 2 people in the last year. And that's when she'd slowed up, but, obviously a lot of it is being in the right place at the right time. But it just shows, it is a fantastic story for her. And, she certainly deserves her retirement now.
Do you know how many she saved in total? Or found?
Yeah, we've got 4 finds to our name. We've been on other ones where the team's found as well. And a lot of the time it's also, we are a team in the Isle of Man. There's the fire service, Coast Guard, civil defence, the police. If you don't find anyone, it helps the police in the fact they can then search other areas when people are found then. So we all work together really well. And I think that's quite an important point, as a community in the Isle of Man.
Brilliant. Is there anything else you wanted to
add? We're always looking for volunteers.
Yeah.
The real heroes, to be honest, are the people who, on a Tuesday evening and a Sunday morning, are prepared to lie out in bivvy bags and be found, because without those people, you can't train a dog. Simple as that. So they are the real heroes, the people who give up the time selfishly, who, they'll read a book, maybe listen to music, but they do give up the time freely, and it's fantastic.